Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the July 7th Nominations and Elections Committee of Sudden Valley. Glad everyone's here. The entire committee is here and present. We do have one open seat still, and so that seat is still open. At this point, we would approve the agenda. I do have one item that I would like to add, which would be I just need a couple minutes to share with you guys some updates. So if we could add that. Is there any other additions to the agenda?
No.
So can we approve the agenda
here.
with my amendment to for some updates from me? All those in favor?
Aye.
Right. Anybody opposed? None? Okay. I should have said that an update would occur after member comment, or actually in new business. We'll do that as the first item in new business. I didn't do that very well. Okay, so agenda is approved. At this point, I'd like to approve the minutes from our last two meetings. Michael, thank you for sending those out. Did everybody get a chance to review them?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes as submitted?
I'll make that motion.
I second.
Thank you. With that, is there any discussion at all, or changes? Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes, the last two meeting minutes, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. No, anybody opposed? I didn't hear any. Okay. So at this point, we're into member comments. Spencer, do we have any members in the audience tonight?
We have one, and their name isn't showing up, and they don't have their hand raised.
Okay. Well,
It just says iPhone.
okay. Well, the person's iPhone, we're glad you're here. Thank you for taking part. So we're at old business, which is views and eBlast communications.
Rob,
yes.
that's me on the iPhone. It's the only way I can hear is through my
Okay. Thank you, Michael. So eBlast and views articles. We will be having a views article that we got to get in the views for the August views. Michael, would you remind us what is the cutoff on getting that in? Is it 2 weeks before the first?
I would say we'd want to get it in around the 15th.
Okay. This particular article really needs to have, in my opinion, needs to have instructions on the electronic voting, what they'll expect to see, and how to go about doing it. So I'm willing to take a stab at it because I've been talking with Catherine and Andrew quite a bit about this. And it's going to be kind of, I think it should be like a step-by-step kind of bulleted. This is what you would see. This is how you're prompted. These are the steps. It's pretty, as you guys know, you experienced it. It's very straightforward.
Yeah, it's very intuitive and self-explanatory.
Yeah. But I think we need to get it out there. Go ahead, Michael, your hand's up.
We might want to ask Wilhelm how big the article could be. As for size of content, but yeah, I agree, we need to get electronic voting information out there.
Okay, I'm taking a quick note for it, something here, right? Hang on. Bear with me, because I got a lot going on, so I want to make sure I capture this. Okay. So a link, and then it needs to be in there by July 15th. Okay. All right, thank you guys for your patience there.
Now, are we talking about an eBlast or an article in the views?
No, at this point, I'm talking about an article for the views.
Okay,
So what I'd like to do is get something out there to you guys before the 12th. Gives us a couple of days to knock it around, and because I like collaboration. So if you guys have any suggestions and better ways to write it or enhancement, then we can kick it around. I'll let you know what Bill Helm says about length in terms of words. Yeah, Don.
when timing wise between when eBlasts go out once a week, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so my suggestion would be before that views articles is going to be published, come out with an eBlast a week or two before, and but keep it, explanatory but fairly simple, and then refer to an upcoming views article that will go into more depth or something like that.
So maybe the last Friday or the Friday in the a week back of an e-blast saying this is coming.
Right.
I also thought an e-blast would be good to prompt and ask people to, if you're thinking about running, please submit an application. I thought an e-blast in the next week or two would be good for that. But I think you're right, Donna. An e-blast prompting people that it's something that's coming in the views and read it. And that views article should probably not be a Tolstoy novel. You want people to actually want to read it. Right?
No, what I would suggestion is that the eBlast, just a notification, there's information coming in the views, but kind of keep it simple what's going on, and then make the views article more in-depth and explanatory.
Okay.
Without becoming Tolstoy.
Yeah. I find myself sometimes reading something in like an article, and it's just so long. I'm like, what do I need to know? Tell me what I need to know. Tell it to me again, and then summarize and just keep it. But it's going to need some. It's going to need some detail, because I wouldn't want anybody coming back and saying, I didn't understand this. I couldn't vote.
There will be.
Yeah.
Didn't somebody write or send us a copy of what we're gonna put in the views?
Yes.
So is somebody working on that?
Well, I'll write the draft, and then I'm going to send it out to this entire committee before the 12th, so that you guys can read it and add your thoughts to it. Is that what you're thinking, Joe Jean?
The one I have, but didn't you send that, Rob? It's the title, the subject, 2025 Annual General Meeting.
Yeah.
And is that a beginning, a rough draft of what you're thinking about putting in?
No, I think you're describing the article that's currently in the new views that just came out a day ago or so.
Yeah.
Michael wrote that. I think we gave there was some feedback. I know I gave him some, and then I submitted it to Bill Helm.
Yeah, you sent me an article from last year and we edited
Yes.
it. And I sent it out to everybody. And then Rob sent it to Bill Helm.
Yeah.
And I haven't got my view yet, so I don't know what I was looking today, but anyway.
It's in there. It's towards the back of it. Yeah, it ended up kind of towards the back. There's articles in there about the
Okay.
board appropriating some funds for the big one is about needing to appropriate more funds towards the tree cleanup for this from the microblast storm. Okay, so I made that note.
Before
Did
we
you
move
want us-
on,
Pardon?
I went on today to the Sudden Valley site,
Yeah,
looking just to see if, say I wanted to run for a position, and it took me 15 minutes or better to find that I had to collect 3 different places to end up getting the volunteer information. It's very cumbersome to do the way they have it on there. I would like to suggest that it is the direct link to the application form is on the AGM page. Instead of you go to the AGM page, it says go to volunteer, and then it says go to this, and then you end up going somewhere else to get the form. And I was like, oh, I had to read that. I had to read it 3 times before I could find it.
yeah, let me reach out to Diane tomorrow.
If it could just be a direct link right to the form, it would make it
Yeah.
very easy.
Yeah.
And I printed it when I got it, and the opening page on it says, "Dear applicant, thanks for your interest, blah, blah, blah." In the 3rd paragraph, it says, completed application documents must return to the Welcome Center in a sealed address envelope to the entity chair by the closing date listed up above. That should be in bold, underlined, so it can't be missed. Somebody can't say, well, I didn't know. I tried to, I emailed it to you, but I think that 3rd paragraph, the first sentence should be in bold
Okay.
or underlined or something.
Okay.
So
So
the
I can make those, go ahead, Doc.
applications have to be mailed in, is
Yes.
what you're getting at. Okay, yeah, that should be made clear.
They don't have to be mailed in, they can be handed at the
Or-
welcome center.
Physically
Well, it
presented.
just says, it doesn't say mailed. It says it has to be returned to the Welcome Center
Okay, yeah,
and
Yeah.
not sent by email.
right.
That's right.
Okay.
In fact, the staff made up a little sticker that if somebody picks one up, there's a little sticker that has that reminder on there, so it's they can put the sticker, on the envelope with it. So it says attention and in each here.
But you don't get that if you download the paperwork off the internet.
That's true. So I'll ask Diane to bold and underline that section. I know what you're talking about, Michael. That's good feedback. Unfortunately, that webpage is kind of clunky. So I didn't realize they had to go through the volunteer section to apply as a candidate.
Yes.
And when you go to the volunteer section, I'll look at it, but it sounds like when you go to the
No, there
volunteer
is no volunteer section. You go onto the Sudden Valley site,
yeah,
and there's a sentence that says, if you would like to run for a board for one of the elected positions, click here. And you do. And then it goes down through volunteer opportunities, and somewhere down middle of the page, you can find a thing that says click here, and then it takes you to another page and about halfway down that page is the form. I mean, it took
Yeah.
me 20 minutes to find the damn thing.
If I'm looking for an application or a page online and I'm directed to click here, it should take me right to what I'm looking for,
Absolutely.
not
Especially
to
for
some other
this.
page. Yes. Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
Yeah,
it'd be so simple if that,
it should be really straightforward.
to me, it seems like it'd be really simple. If you get to click one place, you can get it click the other. Just skip one of the steps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be really easy and straightforward. You mentioned there was somebody you were helping that was trying to run. Do you think that person would be willing to chat with me and give me their feedback? So I'm just curious what their feedback would be on that. No, unbiased. I just was curious if they would be open to talking with me because I'm curious.
No, it was me. I'm contemplating running for the board, so I wanted to get a form.
Oh, I got you.
But
Then
it
I
was a
got your
great pain in
feedback.
the butt to find it.
I got your feedback. Okay, I will talk to Diane first thing in the morning. In terms of eBlast, I think that it would be good to get an eBlast out next week, encouraging people to run, to pick up a candidate application if they're interested. Encourage you to do so. Again, here's how you get the applications. Is there Joe, Jean, or Don, would either of you be willing to write a short paragraph about that?
Sure. For an eBlast?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Don. Max will need Diane, Max, Morgan are kind of working together. They'll need that by next Wednesday,
Okay.
a week from tomorrow.
Okay.
Is that still doable?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So the next item on the agenda is what we've added about updates. I'm just making this. I'm just sharing this information. I don't have a lot of detail, but I just want to make you guys aware. There is going to be some changes coming in Bukaya. I don't know if I'm getting that acronym. In terms of uh, committees ad hoc and special committees that are stood up and by the board. So for example, any ACC, safety, I mean, all of these committees need to have 2 board members on the committee. We will not be, I gotta be careful. I'm really confused, but there's going to be changes. I'm not quite sure whether I'm not sure how ACC and NNE will go about in terms of being elected committees. It sounds like there's a possibility the people will, being that they're important committees, that they might still be elected and approved by the board. I will know more in the next month.
Is that with the WECOA thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, my understanding was that we would no longer be able to elect anybody but our board, and the board would appoint people to the committees, which is kind of like assigning wolves to the hen house. So,
yeah, I suppose depends on who's in the hen house at that particular time, or I mean.
Yeah, well, I mean,
unfortunately, this is the way of the world, and where we live is we've become. My hope is that we just work together and try to find we can compromise and work to the common good.
I'm hoping that the board, no matter what they say in Olympia, that the board realizes that we as homeowners should have a say and be able to carry on the elections the way we have for years. I mean, that's part of our contract for being in covenant with the HOA. Otherwise, our contract's out the window and we don't have to follow anything.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I kind of contemplate, should I bring this up? Because I realize I don't have very much information. I just want us to be
Yeah.
aware that there are some changes coming down the pike. And I think our board is trying to understand them, and they want to do what's, from what everything I'm reading and hearing, I think they want to do, they want to follow the state law, but they want to do what's best for our Sun Valley Homeowners Association as well.
Yep.
So, well, as soon as we, just stay tuned, listen to if you have the time, listen to the board meetings, come on down to the multi-purpose room and listen in, ask questions. And as I know more, I'm going to bring it up here so that for any of our community members that are on YouTube or will listen to this later on YouTube, that they get it as well. So that's what I wanted to bring up. The next item is revision of
Hey, Rob.
Say it again. Hello?
Before we go, we're in new
Yeah.
business right now, aren't
Yes.
we? Are we
Yes,
heading
we
into
are.
new business? Okay. When we talked about the electronic voting,
Yes.
and you said last meeting that they were gonna, when the thing comes out, they're gonna just send ballots for them to do it electronically. It must be going to their email address. So only the
Well-
people on eBlast will get an electronic vote. If you're not signed up for the eBlast, you won't get an email. Is that correct?
Kind of. The electronic voting will go to their email of record and their cell phone of record. It'll go to both.
Oh, okay.
So
Go ahead, Don.
my understanding was that to vote electronically, you get mailed a ballot. Everybody gets mailed a ballot. On that paper ballot will be instructions to connect you to a link to vote
Okay.
electronically.
I was just
That
trying to
way,
figure
too.
out how to do that. How were they
That
doing
was
it?
my,
Yeah.
maybe we should verify that.
Yeah.
That's been
The
my
instruct-
understanding.
The instructions, so the instructions that we send out and how to vote, that'll be very clear in there. I know Linda's working on that to help us right now. I am going to set up a Zoom call with Andrew Burkhart at Unilect and Michael Bennett and myself to make sure we have the answers to every one of those.
But that might be a point to clarify.
Yes.
Is that true? Accurate? That was my understanding from a couple discussions, was there would be online voting instructions that would include a link to get you to the electronic vote.
That makes sense.
That's my recollection too, Don, and so you would get a email with the link, a cell phone with the same link, and in the voting instructions, there's a link in the paper instructions that takes you to a web link where once you put some verification in there, it will also allow you to electronically vote from there. But I'm gonna get all of those details ironed out for sure.
Right. That would be important.
Very important.
Okay.
Michael, another question?
Nope. That answered my question.
Okay. So the 2025 ballot and instructions, I have the instructions from last year. I know Linda has been working on some added language for electronic voting. exactly what we're discussing. I don't have the ballot booklet itself. That was something that was edited last year by Linda and Joanne. She helped us with that. So I'll be reaching out to Linda tomorrow to find out where does that reside? Because I know between staff and Linda, it's out there in an editable version in Word. What I'm bringing this stuff up is because I would like to get ahead of it. I'd like for us to change any necessary dates, do whatever we can, prompt Keith to write his presidential, snippet that goes in there, right? We're not going to know about any of the candidates until we open the ballots, and I'm asking them to submit their bios.
And that's all in that heading letter.
Yep. I've already updated the letter that I sent back to them saying, hey, we've opened and received your ballot, thanks, or your application, thanks so much. You've got a couple days to submit a bio, that kind of thing. So I think we're moving ahead. I'm a little concerned about that ballot booklet though. And I also have the ballot itself, which would be editable. The reason why I'm bringing this stuff up is last year what we required was that all of the printed materials we would be able as a committee, and our GM went with us too, which was fine. We went up to the printer in Blaine and reviewed all of looked at the printed material and said, this is what we want, because there had been some poor printing in the past. So we're working towards the ability to be able to do that.
That would be good.
Yeah, that'll be more towards the middle of September.
So Rob, I have a question.
Yes.
The ballot booklet, or election booklet, you're saying exists as a template so that year by year, all it needs to be done is change the usual candidates, dates,
Yep.
names, things like
Yep.
that. But
yes.
So yeah, it'd be really important to find out where that template is, where it resides. And
I've
I
been
assume
perusing through all my documents, and I'm finding PDF versions of it. Yeah.
Well, it should reside
out there,
with,
but it's not in an editable form.
it should, all those kinds of documents should reside with the association in wherever that stuff gets put.
Well, I think it used to be more closely held by the N&E committee.
Okay. Somehow, yeah, saying it should
somehow.
reside with the community somehow.
Yeah. Which I've talked with the document review committee a little bit about. Are they reviewing where all of these documents reside? I'm hearing about some H drive, which I'm hoping it's not just a hard drive on a computer that it is hopefully it's getting backed up into the cloud or whatnot. So
or even a hard backup somewhere.
Yeah. My opinion, it should exist on a hard drive. It should be backed up into the cloud, and there should be a physical backup or hard physical backup held in a safe somewhere. That's just me. But,
well, I agree.
All right, so now let's talk about,
I'm looking through my emails because I may have a copy of that back here somewhere.
you think you got it?
I don't know. It's going to take some time to dig through my emails.
Okay. Um, I would be a bit surprised if Linda's got it too.
Or Gail.
She's got so much stuff, archived. So
And-
the other item I have on here is picking some dates that we would hold the candidate forums. So we just kind of taking you as a reminder, on September 2nd is when we're going to have our meeting to open the applications, vet them, and have the ballot lottery.
September 2nd, we open and draw names.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea as I'm going down through here, we're going to send the candidate info to Unilect on September 5th. September 8th, we're going to send a draft voter guide to Unilect. The 12th will be the final approved voter packet materials to Unilect. Unilect's going to mail the election materials to forum-based members on the 22nd. On September 24th, the US-based members it will start to mail.
So we should have a candidate forum somewhere, in my thoughts, somewhere between the 12th and the 24th in September.
Perhaps an initial one, yeah.
And then have another one in early October, and then a meet and greet in later October.
I think so. Now, I was gone, and that's not going to happen this year, but
Good.
I'm going to have to go back and look at what the dates were then, but I wanted to touch on this. Are we thinking that maybe the first one would be close to the 22nd? So it's right before people have materials?
The 22nd's on a Monday. So I would suggest the 20th is the Saturday, or the 24th is a Wednesday.
Yeah. Do we think that they're better attended on a weekend or on a weeknight?
Well, last year we did a weekend and a weeknight.
Yeah, it should be one of each, at
Okay.
least.
Maybe start with the weeknight and then in October do a weekend, because the weather may not be as nice.
Good thinking.
So the 24th is a Wednesday.
Yeah.
What if we did a Wednesday, the 24th? At what time?
Oh, boy.
6:30,
6:30.
7.
Well,
7.
6:30 gives most people time to get back from work and
Yeah.
home. 6:30 or 7. Because these candidate forums can take a while.
They can.
And we would have it at the barn.
We
or-
would.
Yeah.
And we would stream it, and we would stream it on the internet. Well, I could talk to Michael and see about having, you know, I'm not saying like a full-blown lunch, but some light refreshments or something too, in case somebody's coming right from work, you know?
Even just donuts and coffee or something, or a fruit plate and coffee.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because coffee's easy. There's urns downstairs in the kitchen
Yep.
and, but yeah,
We grabbed a few of those fruit things from Costco. Okay, so Wednesday, 24th at 6:30, and this also is dependent on whether staff can, well, I like to be polite and ask if we can get staff support.
oh yeah.
Okay, and then October, let's see here. Maybe October 24th, as it's getting fairly close to the AGM,
That's pretty late.
the 17th.
That's another weeknight.
What's voting?
Excuse me, the 18th. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong. So the 11th or the 18th, does anybody have any feedback on that?
October 18th.
Joe Jean, what do you think?
When did we have these last year?
I was out of town, so I'd have to go back, Joe Jean.
When
I
is
think
voting
the
day?
timing of what we describe is very typical of what we did. So the 25th would be the week before. That's really late. The 18th would be 2 weeks before the AGM. That still feels a little late.
What's the date of the AGM?
So, Saturday, November 1st.
Oh, okay.
I would think we'd want to do the second one around the 18th.
Yeah, I would say,
Greet, or no, I'm sorry. Do the second on the Saturday, the 11th, and then have the meet and greet on the 19th or the 26th.
Say the meet and greet would be the Sunday, the 26th. Is that what you said?
That'd be a Sunday afternoon.
basically a week before the election. That might be a
Yeah.
good day.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
The thing that's cool about the meet and greet is as a committee, we're just kind of there to meet and greet, but
Yeah.
we just kind of sit back.
But we could propose dates to everybody involved. I mean, the staff and that needs to be there and say, this is what we're thinking.
Well, these
Well,
aren't rock solid. We're just shooting out numbers to see
That's what I
what
mean.
they want.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
well, the other thing too is if let's say that over half the candidates are saying I have a prearranged vacation, but I could do Wednesday the week after that, and I mean I think we can be flexible. We want last year there was a couple that had recorded answers, but and that's not really fair to them either. So
If we get suggested dates or proposed dates from us out there early enough so people can mull them over, and particularly the candidates,
Yeah.
yeah,
then we hopefully can get some feedback and adjust accordingly.
exactly.
The best candidate thing that I went to was the informal gathering that we had at El Agave.
Yeah.
I thought that was really a nice, relaxed setup. Everybody, a lot of information came out. People were Some of them are a little more relaxed because they were ordering drinks, but nonetheless,
Maybe you
it-
get the truth then.
it was, I thought it was kind of very informal
It
and,
was
No, that was enjoyable. Yeah.
yeah,
very relaxed. I think that, we wanted to maybe do it on Sun Valley properties because people might be willing to bring their families and the kids could
I
go
know.
around. You know, some people may not be comfortable going to a bar and, being there.
It's a family bar.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got tentatively Wednesday, the 24th at 6:30. Saturday, let me rephrase that. Wednesday, September 24th at 6:30. Saturday, October 11th at 6:30. And a meet and greet Saturday, Sunday, October 26th at 3 p.m. And when
you get numbers just to toss out. Let's see where they hit.
yeah, let's see where they hit and let everybody know we're flexible, but we're trying to be proactive and plan ahead. I will let Diane and Michael Bennett know this is what we're thinking about tomorrow. I'll also ask Diane to make that edit with bold and underlined. And what can we do about making it just a straight shot to getting an application? My gosh.
Yeah, that should be much easier. Well,
Yeah.
to tell a story,
Seemed like
I'm on this committee because of the Sudden Valley website being so convoluted. I was actually going on to apply to help at the ballot counting last year. And there was a thing in the views, if you're available, we're looking for volunteers. So I said, oh yeah, I could do that. So I followed the instructions and I ended up at a volunteer web page that was not at all specific to the subject, but it was all that was available. So I filled it out, sent it off, and I went, you know what? I had second thoughts. So I called down to the welcome center, to the office, to get a hold of somebody. And whoever I got a hold of obviously didn't have a clue about anything. And I explained, I said, look, I just filled out this application. I'm not sure it went to where I intended it to go. Can you make sure Rob gets this?
And you became a
The next,
candidate.
the next thing I knew was I was at a opening for the new building at maintenance, and Timey comes up and she says, "Oh, I'm so glad you applied to the N&E committee." I said, "I did?" She says, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, whatever."
That's hilarious.
That's
So
hilarious.
I understand that that website needs to be somehow fixed.
At least
Yeah.
you didn't end up on the board.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been
Well-
really hilarious.
Well, one thing that might help is to, maybe make some revisions and then have a couple people try it out and give them some feedback on how well it's working for them. Or because if somebody's interested in running for a position,
Yeah.
I mean, it should go right straight forward. It should
Getting
be
an
just-
application should be easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, if I'm on a site looking to submit something and it says click here, I'm anticipating I will be directly anticipated to the application or form or whatever I'm looking for, not a link that takes me 3 steps more to get to it. That would
Yeah, I won't go.
put me off.
Yeah. No, understandable. Okay, so I've got my actions, I've taken them down. And so, Don, you're gonna start building an eBlast for, next week.
Yeah, and this is
encouraging people to
specifically
run.
to, this is specifically to address candidate applications.
Yes. I will get some answers from Unilect about what we think are the 3 ways that people can electronically vote. And I will summarize that and send that out to you guys, and we'll talk it at our next meeting so that the information gets out to our neighbors.
And Rob, you're
'cause
gonna do a draft for the
Say
August
again?
view. Correct?
Say again?
About electronic
Somebody's
voting and
calling
all
me. I'm
that.
trying to hang up. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh, phones, they ring at the wrong times. Michael, you were saying something, and I'm sorry, I could not hear you. What did you
I'm
say?
sorry. I said you're gonna get the start a draft for the electronic voting information for the August view and get it out to us by around the 12th, and
Yes.
then we get back to you.
Yes,
Okay,
I've jotted that down as my action item, yes. But if
All
you
right.
could capture that in the minutes, that'd be great. All right, well,
and I will get
Well-
these minutes, the draft off of them and send them to Diane tomorrow.
I would propose that we meet in 2 weeks. And if we determine we don't need one, but I think we should schedule one because things are gonna start really heating up, you guys. Anybody opposed to that?
What's that?
I'm on board.
Scheduling a meeting in 2 weeks.
I'm on board with that.
Which day in 2 weeks?
That would be Monday. Monday.
Well, we have a meeting scheduled for, well, wait, no, I'm in the wrong month. That would be,
Actually, we do in July. It's scheduled for
We
the
have,
28th, so that would be,
We should be fine just meeting again on the 28th.
okay. Yeah, because we are a week late with me not getting the agenda out. By the way, I put that in my calendar the previous Wednesday to ensure it gets out. So okay, we'll meet again on the 28th at 6:30
All right.
via Zoom. Either that or Don's backyard. That looks like a nice place to hang out, man.
well, tonight it is. I don't know. I like where Michael is too.
Yeah, I
The
really
railroad
like
tracks
Joe
are
Jean's
great.
at.
Yeah.
Right, you guys, let's go ahead and adjourn at 7:19. And have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Yeah, you too.
All right, see you soon, guys.